Who were the first McGaffeys? Those sons and daughters of Scots-Irish immigrants who settled the Vermont wilderness. They who entered a pristine land nestled between Lake Champlain and the Connecticut River. Known before the American Revolution as the New Hampshire Grants. They who chose this wild forested place, watered by a million streams, with plentiful natural resources for the taking. Who were these first McGaffeys? The Revolutionary War was over. The year was 1789. John McGaffey, son of Neil, 61 years of age, sold 100 acres he owned in the Sandwich, New Hampshire, to his brother Samuel. With his wife Jane and several younger children, he moved to the Passumpsic River Valley, to a grant parcel known as Linden. In 1793, he was joined by his brother Andrew and son William Workman McGaffey and William's wife Molly. Along with many families, the McGaffeys made their pitches in the woods, put up brood cabins, and commenced at once to clear the land at 2 acres a year. Together they planned for roads, mills, churches, schools, and all the rest of those institutions of civilization. The McGaffeys put their mark on this land. Linden Center grew up around the town meeting house. From 1800 to 1809, residents of the area argued about how to raise funds to build this structure to promote the preaching of the gospel, as well as setting out a burying and parade ground. 6 acres of land were set out for this purpose. The cemetery is the final resting place for many of the early McGaffeys. Of interest, John McGaffey, son of William Workman, and his 2 wives are buried near the town meeting house in the cemetery. John's first wife, Sarah, died at the age of 27 during an epidemic. She was the mother of all of John's sons, including Louis McGaffey. John McGaffey was a builder. He made extensive repairs on the townhouse in 1859. Previous to that, John was paid $1,400 to build the Baptist church. He completed it in 1848, and with the money, he left for a year in California. John also contracted and built many houses on the main street in Linden Center. He lived in some of them. So just who were the McGaffeys? You can find traces of them in their buildings like William Workman's home that still stands outside of town on Cold Hill. Like many of the buildings of Linden Center, we find the past in the present. We discover them by imagining their world in the woods, streams, fields, mountains. And just maybe in ourselves. I am Steve McGaffey, son of Louis K. McGaffey and his wife, Mary. He was the son of Louis K. McGaffey and his wife, Elizabeth. Elizabeth was the daughter of Alexander Love. What a great grandma. Elizabeth Love was a young girl who traveled with her mother and father across the Isthmus of Panama on their way to California. She was abducted by the Indians. A posse was organized and they rescued her. The family continued on up the west coast of the Pacific coast to San Francisco and then on to Angels in 1851. I can recall living with my grandmother during certain summers and remember her as a lady in the kitchen going out early in the morning with a wood stove, baking cakes, pies, and breads. She was very lucky to have two of her daughters living near her on the back street, Mabel, Lily, and Jenny Hogarth. My father and her other daughter, Lillian Freeman, were living in San Francisco at that time. One thing I remember about the house was that there was no toilets there. There was only a four-holer on a bridge that connected the house with the back street. What a wonderful organization. Good?